This is remotely interesting, and I want to say this. There's a debate whether or not this is number 4 or number 5, but we'll call it 45 episode. This one is all about icebreakers, the most electrifying icebreakers in remote facilitation history. And with me on the call is, of course, the two-time, as they would say in wrestling's panache, MVP, most valuable practitioner, Sandy Lamb. And we have some special guests with us today. I'll introduce them one by one, and they can speak up when I call them out. I'm going to start with Mehmet Karakus. He's someone I know very well for facilitation. What are you all about?
Well, from the Global Virtual Design Sprint, this is where we know all from. And so it was really nice, and I'm looking forward to the next one. And after the last Global Virtual Design Sprint, Tom Jepson and John Promote together, we founded Virtual Design Sprints Europe. And we are also brewing there, trying to figure out on what kind of services we can offer and enrichen the world of design sprint.
So, Mehmet, are you looking at the right camera? Because you're looking
yeah, I am looking at the, so, 1 second. This is how it looks.
Okay. It's like, all right, maybe you were like me and didn't want to look at anybody and just like, yeah, I'm Mehmet, and this is there, and this is my side of my face, and I...
So actually there's a mirror, so I'm looking at myself because that's, no, just kidding.
Okay, I just want to make sure you're okay, that's all. I'm going to be shifting over to my left. Let's go to Rakesh, the sprint doctor. Life Sprint, all about that. Is there anything else that I miss?
Really happy to be here, Robert. So I think my mission is to help people work better together remotely. And I'm doing that through the Sprint Doctor and with the Live Sprint. So yeah, very interested in where this journey goes.
We also have Jason Ruud. Ruud, is that how you say it?
No, you're saying it right.
Okay.
You're saying it right.
Okay.
Nobody wants to say it, but it is Ruud.
Well, it's really, since we have a pro wrestling kind of feel for this entire thing, it's Jason Ruud.
And there is a Rick Ruud.
Yes.
There is a Rick Ruud, so yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Are we going to have a tag team championship?
Only if, we'll work it out in the mural.
Cage
I mean,
match.
we get really, when I showcase the mural, then it's all, we'll just wait till that point. But Jason,
okay.
What are you all about?
So, hi, I am the UX principal for CapEx Global, which is now Hitachi Solutions. We just had a recent merger and completed that merger. And so I help companies in the product discovery phase. So majority of the work that I do is doing enterprise level design sprints with lots of different industries from manufacturing to healthcare and everything in between. So happy to be here and love to learn from all you folks. So
cool. Sandy Lamb, want to tell everyone about who you are and what you do and what you're all about and all that?
Hi, my name is Sandy, and I'm from Leipzig, Germany. And you already introduced me, actually.
Okay, sorry. Then let's skip it. You don't need any introduction. That's fine.
No, I'm good.
It's the Sandy Lamb.
The Sandy Lamb.
No
The
introduction.
Sandy Lamb.
That's right.
You got to get it right. If I don't do it right, then it doesn't make any sense. And of course, last but not least, and certainly not least, Orange Minds World Tour, design sprints, everything, including camel whips. We're talking about Margriet Buseman. Please speak up.
Yes, hello everyone. So indeed, Margriet, based in Amsterdam and traveling the world with design sprints, although I think that's a bit going to be on a pivot the next year or so. So very happy to be doing some more things in the virtual space. And similar to the rest, doing design sprints mostly on enterprise level to change the way you work, which is really based on team collaboration, impact, and caring about our customers. So that's it for me.
Cool. Just some notes for everyone that's listening in. I do have the president, I call him. He's in the other room. He may stop by for a visit, so I may have to kind of stop the session temporarily, or you may see me kind of being, addressing that. So I want to make sure that everyone knows that that'll happen. I'm going to be sharing my screen that's going to showcase one of the most amazing murals that you've ever seen. The panelists have already seen it, and we're keeping it under wraps. But what we are essentially going to do is that for the panelists that are here, we'll call upon them one by one, and they're going to share an icebreaker that they've done in the past, and we're all going to go through it to basically illustrate what it's all about, when it's done, if there's a particular situation or time where it is deployed, and kind of experience it firsthand. So I've asked everyone to kind of come and showcase some of their best ones so that everyone who's paying attention now can learn from that and use it for themselves. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen. And first up, I think I'm going to call on Rakesh to kind of share an icebreaker that he has. And Rakesh, I know there's a lot there to kind of work with, but why don't you go ahead and I can kind of work with you in terms of kind of building it out in the mural as we talk about it. And then that way it'll save you kind of like trying to speak and to kind of build it out at the same time. So if you could, let me know what your icebreaker is and we'll kind of go at it.
Yeah, I think this probably comes from a couple of conversations we had with Matt, and it's going to be interesting how we translate it to the mural. So the trend of the hour is actually toilet paper. So the fun question is, when you do your business in the morning, are you a folder or are you a crusher?
Are you a folder of toilet paper or a crusher?
Yeah.
And how do you, and it's basically, do you put this on a note and do you put it in the mural itself, or do you tend to like just basically like share it? What's the delivery mechanism usually?
It's more a conversational piece. So there's this, I would be interested in seeing how we could actually, do something, write something around it. Maybe you can put like, a couple of Post-its with people's names on it. And everyone just writes down, okay, this is my technique or something. It's a very interesting question because people then come up with some nice stories, and you also have people coming up with like a lot of scientific explanations sometimes. So yeah, it's just a fun question to throw in there, and it's very unexpected.
So I found two images and through going through this. So in the mural itself, I have a folded piece of toilet paper. It's like origami, and the other one I have crushed. So I think probably what we can do is, how about this? We can basically do like emojis. So let's do happy emoji, and I'm going to drag one over to this. So let's do this. I'll use red. I don't think brown would be an appropriate color. But for everyone that's on mural right now, what do you tend to prefer in terms of your toilet paper use? Let's just kind of put this to the test. Go ahead and drag an emoji over where you think you would probably prefer to be, whether it's folded or crushed, and we'll see what the group kind of thinks.
Just to add to that, Robert, maybe there's a third option. If you have a new technique, just write down a Post-it there.
Yes, there you go. You can a different technique. So there's one where actually a cat's taking off all the toilet paper. So there's one. But yeah, if you're in the mural, you can go ahead and put in your technique about how you actually would deploy toilet paper. Would anyone on the panelist side would want to disclose their particular approach to things? No? Okay. Right.
Hey, Robert, what is yours?
Mine? I'm in such a mad rush that probably it's a combination of both. Let's put it that way. I'd say it's both. It just depends. It depends on the situation. If I'm rushing to get to like some webinar like this and I only have a couple of minutes, then probably it's the latter. If it's probably where I have plenty of time on my schedule, then it's the former. How about that?
But if you're truly in a rush, wouldn't you just do nothing instead?
No, because then everyone in the family will know that someone did not follow proper hygiene in the house, and that there's too many people in my house that would kind of make this not work. So it looks like the majority.
And we have someone from the audience also saying rectangular folds. Okay, Mardea, thanks for that.
Interesting, rectangular. So you actually don't do it in squares; you just do it in rectangles.
Impressive.
Interesting. Okay, that's the first icebreaker. I'm going to go to Margriet this time in terms of what she would consider like an icebreaker that she would deploy. And let's see what you come up with. Margriet, what's an icebreaker you typically use?
Yeah, so one I use, I call it Art Remake, or I don't know, I gave it a name this afternoon. But
awesome.
but actually, but in order to do it, I need to share my screen. Is that also possible, even though you're doing just for a minute?
Yep, go ahead.
All right, perfect. Because, so basically, hang on, I'm just going to share my screen there. So basically the way it works, so I think everybody can see it, yes? So basically it's a picture of, well, in this case, I picked Frida Kahlo. So basically what it is, what I often do is, and you can do many versions. I now picked like the art version, but you could also do a self-portrait version or like a random object. But basically the question is, ask everybody to draw this. So I would actually like to give everybody this time, but the question is, does everybody have a pen and a paper? That's basically what you need. So you need a pen and kind of some form of paper. And actually you can do it in Mural. So somebody can give it a try if they want in Mural, but I usually do it offline. And then what I'm going to do is set the timer. Yeah, in 1 minute. So also all the people listening, I would also suggest take a pen, take a paper, and time is starting now. So go. So 35 seconds. And then as time is up, hold it up to the camera. All right, time up. And now, okay, everybody, I want to see at the same time, everybody's drawing skills. Come on, I see nothing.
Wow, cool stuff. Mine's on the board though. I just went for the proverbial eyebrows.
Yeah.
Hang on, so let me, so I will go to the board in a second because there was actually, because while I'm sharing my screen, I wanted to show one more thing, or the reason I often do this one is just to get everybody drawing, especially in the sprint. And it's kind of a fun way. You could do the same thing with Draw Your Neighbor, do a self-portrait, but it's a good way just to get everybody kind of focused on something. And usually it does give a good laugh to then go past the different, how do I say, the different portraits. But I just want to show this one because this is one that I found online this afternoon or yesterday actually. So this is like a new challenge and it has more to do with quarantine. So I was thinking, could you almost do this as like either preparation or you need to give people 5 minutes? Because this is basically like a photo challenge to recreate art. And this is basically what people have done. So this is, and so I haven't done this one. So the simple version is, this was, the art piece, but then I think this would be fun. So that's basically all that I wanted to show for this one.
So you kind of bring that into the session. So if you do that particular one, you basically would ideally have some time before the session gets started. So it would be like the thing that everyone kind of presents.
Yeah, so if you, the one that you're looking at now, if you're still looking at the kind of like the art one. So what I often do, but then we're going like in like, for example, lunch breaks, I give people photo challenges. So that's more of, like in a break of like 2 hours that they have something that they're doing that's not at all sprint related. And it usually is this fun, interactive way. But the drawing portrait, like this beauty, that's just, that's more of an icebreaker, just also to get people drawing. I like to get them doing something visual.
Very nice. Okay.
And now I see Frida in the mural board with, with the pretty flowers. I like it.
So there's a question about how do you rotate in mural? I believe you have to go to the corner, the lower right-hand corner of any image. And if you put your cursor on the outside, you can basically turn it in a fashion that makes sense to you. And you can hold down the shift key and I think it does 45-degree angles at that point. Okay, cool. So I would like to share mine because it is very closely related to this. And this is on the spur of the moment. And that's as like draw your teammate. So when you look in gallery view, you're going to look at somebody who's currently in the panelists. And we have about 9, I think. There's some that are portraits, others are backgrounds. But you're going to choose someone on the panelist side and you're going to do a quick draw of them. This one takes 2 minutes. So I'm going to do a 2-minute timer on my side. And if you need more time, you can go up to 5. But usually I try to say like, okay, if you want to put in some detail, you can. But I'll start the 5-minute timer. The time starts now. Same thing, take a piece of paper and go ahead and look at someone on the panelist side and attempt to draw them. And what's interesting is who exactly is drawn and how many people get to actually be drawn, right? So you choose one person and go ahead and have at it. At the end, all you have to do is use your smartphone or something else to take a picture of your drawing and upload it up into the mural and put a little sticky in terms of who that person is. And I apologize to the person I'm drawing right now because you don't look anything like drawing. That's okay. Just means I need to practice more drawing. Oh, man. Okay. All right. On the count of 3, everyone holds up their particular drawing to the camera and see what comes out with, all right? 1, 2, 3. Oh, look, Jason and I do the same thing.
Nice try, Robert. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Sandy. This is my drawing skills. I tried to make you smiley because you do have a big smile, but it just looks a little... I think I captured
you better there, Sandy, on the mural board. So,
yours on the mural board. Let me take a look. I want to see it. So people uploaded it there.
This is cool.
Well, that's nice. Yeah, they're all different drawings.
I'll upload.
Wow, the one Frida's really good. Okay.
That one's sideways. I mean, what?
Well, we'll just have to curve that up a bit. Well, there you go.
Getting busy.
All right. Let's put this up so that's curved up there. So this is an interesting way of just kind of seeing how people's drawing skills and how they interpreted people. So it looks like the person who has drawn the most, I think it looks like it was Sandy Lamb. Would I be correct in that kind of assumption?
Yeah.
What-
Is that also me on the
What is-
right-hand side there?
What is this? This one looks like Sandy has a rectangular face and it just has like two cells on it. Oh my goodness. All right. Mehmet, why don't you go next in terms of your icebreaker while my son tries to figure out who he wants to draw?
Awesome. Yeah. So my exercise is also a drawing exercise. So you will need a pen again. And what you will draw now is what teamwork looks like for you.
What teamwork looks like. So you're going to be drawing
Right.
out like the concept of teamwork.
Exactly. And everyone does that. And for that, you have 3 minutes of time.
Okay. And Sandy, here's my son's drawing right there. You see?
It's me again.
Hey.
That looks real good.
Yeah.
There you go. That's very good. Okay. Bob.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Let me update the mural. Everyone else can do teamwork. Let's see.
What happened to the mural?
It's
Exploded.
yes. It's been taken over. Some sea lion is actually putting stickies and putting teamwork. I'm drawing. We're supposed to draw what teamwork looks like. This is all examples of teamwork. Okay, so are we first going to show our physical drawings and then we go back to the mural to see what it is? Okay. Count of 3. 1, 2,
3.
This one's mine, like up on the right corner.
So what's interesting is Jason's has like 12 people. They're all stickheads. They're all in a grid. Margriet looks like it's people that are intersecting over like a volleyball with some questions and wine and some other things.
No, they're trading hearts. That's what it looks like they're doing. Because there's a heart there. It's a,
Oh yeah, they're trading hearts. True, they're doing that. There's also time things. Mardea looks like she's got a bunch of people at a table with an LDJ. Looks like they're playing. It looks like they're playing cards. They're gonna bet on what they're gonna do in the LDJ first. Let's see. Mehmet has kind of like everyone being cooked in like a souffle. And there's ideas and everything else, but they're kind of coming together in one dish and they're targeting for the bullseye. It looks like what I'm doing is everyone's around like a heart. So
and the bullseye is the mouth.
That's true. There's a heart that basically connotates all sorts of different things that basically correspond to teamwork, but they're different things like a goal, tons of pizza, people coming together, documentation, good weather.
This is mine. This is mine.
Where's yours? Right up there.
Just
What is that?
talking.
Talking.
Okay, the table and then doing work. And then just
Interact
talk.
with people, correct? Yeah.
And then just be in a room and work for like 12 hours.
That certainly could be part of it, yes. Being in a room for 12 hours. and
The
working.
observations of a child.
Okay, so when we go on the mural, people have put in something as make the dream work. We have everyone thinking of like a light bulb, like basically concentrating on an idea. We have a bunch of different kind of animations here where a dog saving another dog from being in the pool, somebody who's doing a trust fall but really doesn't quite work too well, and then other things are like that. So, okay, cool. There's that one. Let's go. Who haven't called on Pan yet? Let's do Sandy. Would you like to put an icebreaker in for people to do?
So I am a animal lover. So what I normally like to do is I like to link my icebreakers with animal related stuff. So what I typically like to do is I would cover the answer, like imagine there was an answer there, and then I would add it to the outline. And then I would hide it so that the people don't see the answer. And then this will be the question that I have for people. So I will ask them, everyone, what do you think is the animal that will hold hand when they sleep to keep them from drifting apart? And you have to guess which animal that is. So what I would like you to do is actually use the picture search function. So you look for a GIF. So what you need to do, you actually have to type in GIF. And then let's say, yeah, so I see otter there as an answer, though. So then you just type in otter, and then you can find a GIF, and then so you just put it in there that way. That will be the icebreaker, and I will do a few of them. Cat. Yeah. Yeah, so the trick is you actually type in GIF, and then space, and then the answer, and then you can find that the GIF in the image search there.
That's a really neat one, Sandy. I do something similar where I ask people to share what they had for breakfast. So similarly, you can just go to the images, look for some pictures there, and it's really quick drag and drop.
Yeah.
Favorite vacation spot is also really good too. That tends to be something where they people can reminisce, especially now. They can reminisce on where they're going for vacation after this whole stupid pandemic is done.
Yeah, or your staycation corner. Which corner of the house do you like more?
Yeah, actually, I like to use it also as like a kind of warming up section, as well as training people to use Mural, because not everyone knows Mural when they jump on a workshop.
I think that's critical, Sandy. It's like you really got to try and kill two birds with one stone, you know?
Okay, so it looks like we have some really cool, funny images there. And look, so the answer is Otto. If I had prepared it, right, like I would actually get a picture of Otto. So let's say I'm just going to steal something here. And if I had properly prepared it, I would actually do it this way. So I would have cover the image and then hide it on Mural. And then once people have all the images down, we can also vote on it. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. In the end, we just review the answer and then just unhide the image and then say, hey, that's the answer, and that we found out the winner that way.
Okay.
Cool.
Very nice. Let's see. Is there any panelist I did not, of the original 5 that I did in there? I think everyone had a turn. Jason, you're next. Okay.
Yeah, you won. I like to run a variation of Squiggle Birds. Has everybody played Squiggle Birds at one time or another? All right, so I'll explain it briefly for those who haven't. So Squiggle Birds is a really simple exercise. You could find it out on the website Game Storing, but I like to add a little bit of a twist. So why don't we'll go through it, and then I add the twist at the end. So it really gets folks comfortable with, obviously everybody's been doing drawing here, obviously gets people comfortable with drawing. It also obviously gets people comfortable with uploading their drawings to Mural, and kind of, because they're going to have to do that anyway for concepting. So with that being said, if everybody wants to grab a sheet of white paper and then divide your paper into four quadrants. 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't matter if you're portrait or landscape, it doesn't matter. So do something, you could fold it or write it, doesn't matter. And once you're done with that, then I'd like you to place 4 squiggles, 1 in each quadrant, all right? Should look like that, and then 1 in each quadrant. Okay? I give everybody usually a minute to do something like that, all right? Don't take a whole lot of time out of it. Don't put a whole lot of thought into it. It should look something like that. All right. So now take the one in your upper left quadrant and put a beak on it somewhere. And after you've done that, add an eye, and then a tail, and then 2 feet to your bird. And then do the same for the other 3.
Okay.
Typically what I'll do too is I'll walk people through this, and I already have stuff done on my own so people kind of get the gist of what they need to accomplish. Okay, once you're done with that, now I'd like you to take at least one of those quadrants, one of your birds, okay, and I want you to personalize it. That would help tell the group something about yourself that we may not have known. You could do more than one, but do at least one.
Do we embellish the bird after we disclose what
You can embellish as much as you want. Now from here, is everybody done?
Yep.
Okay, good, excellent. So from here, I'll go around the room, and I'll start with mine. So I'll first start with mine, and I typically will hold this up. In other cases, like I'll actually show the progression. So I'll share the progression. I'll say, okay, added beak, eyes, legs, and tail, and then I personalize my bird. So a little bit about me. So my name is Jason Ruud, blah, 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 blah. And I have been a football coach for 15 years, and I really enjoy fishing in my pastime. So that's kind of how I'll do it. And Sandy's right below me. So Sandy, you want to go next?
Yeah, right there. Still trying to scale it, but that's my bird there behind. And just putting a helmet on because I used to race cars. So
awesome.
What kind of cars?
Riley cars, actually.
That's really cool.
I had a super impressor.
So now we just learned something about Sandy. I had no idea. That's awesome. All right, someone else want to go? We don't need to go all the way around, but
you want to go, Alden? Yeah. Okay, go for it.
All right, show us what you got.
The one like right here.
I'll put that up there. You can talk in the microphone right here.
It has a controller on it because I like to play video games a lot.
Very cool.
There.
It's like right here.
Yep.
There's a guy just having a.
Excellent.
Cool. You can take that, bud. I'm going to show mine. So mine is a 4-quadrant one. The one I chose is this one right here. Is basically my hair is super poofy after I take a nap. So basically, if I'm taking a nap during the day just to basically catch up on my sleep, I'm usually spending a ton of time trying to pat it down because it's literally going in like amazing directions. So that's probably something that people don't know is that I typically wake up and I have to spend about 5 minutes trying to get this thing under control. That's me.
Hey, that's a good problem to have. Just
Yes.
saying. Anybody else want to go?
I can go. It's on the mural board. My favorite yoga pose, because I don't do much of it. I'm supposed to be, but I thought this looked like the bird was doing an upward-facing beak there.
Nice.
It looks like a bird that ate all the other sketches.
Later.
You may be,
Later. Not
you may
now.
be
Spit them
doing
back out.
you may be doing a yoga pose, but it's probably doing one that helped the digestive system.
There you go. That explains it. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
upward-facing beak is all about. You let your system digest things.
There you go.
All right. Well, cool. Well, so obviously the best thing about this is, right, it really, everybody that at least when I conduct my sprints, everybody's super, super anxious about concepting and drawing, right? So this kind of breaks down that barrier right away, gets people to realize, okay, I can make a bunch of squiggles on the page. You get them obviously to share something personal about themselves. It really helps break down barriers. And then like Robert does, like people start asking questions of each other in like investigating more, which always brings up really good conversation. So this has worked really well for me, both remotely and in person. So I love it. And anytime I try and go away from it, I end up coming back to it because it's just so darn simple.
Very cool. Right. So Andy, do you want to step up to the plate and showcase some of
Sure.
you, Andy Davis, just
Oh.
for the record.
I'm just some guy, you know. So yeah, I'm a design sprint facilitator, been part of GVDS. This will be my third one coming this spring. And I work for a company called Inspirus, and we're in the employee recognition space. So we help businesses recognize their employees for job well done and all those kinds of things, which these days is very important to help lift spirits and let people know that they mean something and they count for something. So
And you're notorious in the GVDS space for having a always active weather pattern going on in the background, which you're staying true to form, which is fantastic.
Yes, absolutely.
What's your electrifying icebreaker?
So I got two very quick things. The first one, I was telling Sandy about this the other day. This is something that I really like to do because I find when you're in the virtual space, people still want some sort of spatial awareness to each other. And so oftentimes when we come in, I will set up avatars. And I'll tell everyone to grab a dot, put your name in it, and pull a seat up to the table. And that immediately sets the stage so that if we're doing a icebreaker or warm-up, I can say, let's start here and go clockwise or counterclockwise. And it sort of doesn't mean that I'm having to call them out one by one and everybody sort of just follows suit. So it's really kind of a fun way, and everyone can kind of grab a dot and bring yourself up to the table. And it just really sort of sets that stage for whatever activity we're going to do or participate in. The next one is what I call marching band, and this was a big hit the last time I used it. So we'll see if it's popular for you guys. Everyone grab a dot, put your name in there. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to reveal a shape or a letter, and everybody, like a marching band, is going to try and put their dot and form that shape. And so everybody's going to be working together. This is really good for helping people explore and how to use Mural and how to organize themselves. I've done it quietly, and then sometimes I'll open it up to talking as well. So if everybody wants to kind of grab a dot, and we'll reveal the first letter. And so we all grab a dot and we try and form a G together. And so there's the shape, and we go out to the pitch, the field, and we do our best to try and organize ourselves in that shape. Sometimes you'll have some rogue participants that'll keep the team moving, trying to figure it out, which is always sort of a good source of comedy and natural good friction. So it looks like we've got a G forming here, slowly but surely. We've got to get that little horizontal piece up there. And there we go. We're getting there slowly but surely. Oh, we've got a couple dots there.
I think we got a 6 here.
Yeah, we need this one right up here, I think. Now we're starting to look like a G.
We can
Okay.
talk in this one too, right? So we can just say, hey, can you
Sure.
put
Oh,
this
yeah.
over?
So this promotes a little bit of teamwork and really kind of how do you talk
Anna,
virtually.
can you go below Obama? Like, right?
Okay, we'll do the next letter, letter V. Let's see if we can do a V. I suppose we should do some like marching band music in the background, right? That would be kind of fun.
You would have to play really loud, I think, but yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, yeah.
We need someone below Panda and Lisa.
Alden will be the bass. Just build off of Alden
it's
here.
changing.
This one?
Who is the base? Anna?
Alden. I have a border on it,
okay.
so Alden's the very bottom of it.
Okay.
Which is me.
We need someone between Margriet and Mehmet. It's changing again.
Yeah, there
Where
it
should
goes.
Panda go? Panda should go here.
All right, we're getting good there. Look at that. Yay, good job, guys. Okay, 2 letters left. We've got a D. See how quick we can form a D now that we're getting proficient.
Okay, D will be
Oh,
like
look at
the
that.
top.
Well, Alden will be at the top in the curve.
Okay.
We'll move
Who's going to be the bottom? I'll be the bottom, so we can
All
form around that.
Brad Pitt and Obama will sit next to each other, and then there'll be a panda here. Trump will fall in line.
Oh, look at that.
Luigi will be right there, and then we'll put Pokemon somewhere down below.
There you go. All right, look at that. We're almost there.
Oh,
Tidy
I
that
think
bottom
maybe
up there.
Mardea.
All right, last letter, S. Let's see if we can do an S.
I'll be the beginning again.
Okay.
Just follow it from there.
So where are you?
Yeah. Oh, she wanted to get in front. That's fine. Obama will be at the end. Put Pokemon over here.
Excellent. Look at that. Well done. So this sort of promotes a sense of accomplishment for the team, which is also really good because it's kind of quick wins. Everybody starts feeling like they can work together and sets the stage for whatever's next. So those are my 2.
Yeah.
Cool.
So really simple and cool one, Andy. Thanks a lot for sharing
Yeah.
this.
You bet.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Good one.
That comforts that you can work on the mural board at least. You can move things around.
Okay, so Mardea.
I have one actually. I use them for, it's like bingo. So it's just to allow people to see that they have things in common with other people. So you have a paper and you draw like a 3x3 on a plain sheet, and you draw baked bread and watch TV. You draw like someone that is dancing. Then you draw someone like that likes to stay in bed. Then you draw someone that is running a marathon, and you say has a pet. So you draw a dog. Then you have like a guitar or any instrument. Then you have loves reading and play sports. So what you do is you get everyone to probably as a facilitator you have a few copy of this. So you hand people this, and they have to match what they have in common without knowing what the person likes. So they kind of guess. So by the time the round is finished, so people can share and see, oh, you like reading, oh, you like football, you see that you have things in common. So that's what I use when I'm doing the face-to-face also. I don't know what it looks like on visual or mural, I don't know.
This is for like physical in-person get-togethers, correct?
Yeah, I use it a lot for get-together, physical in-person, yeah.
And Nora says that she uses that for bingos. She uses the 3x3 grid as well. So do people hand this out to everyone that's in the session, and then they just basically like match or mark off each of those squares if they hear something that somebody does?
Yeah, they do that. They just mark up, okay, someone says, I love sport, but you are not going to reveal, not until when the round is finished. So you kind of find what you have in common with each other.
Okay.
So you mark off what you are first?
Yeah, you mark off what you are first, then you find who has things in common with you.
Oh, okay, I got it. So that everyone kind of marks off on there, and then you compare and contrast between all the people that are part of your session. Okay.
Yeah, with the names on it, yeah.
Got it. Okay, yeah. No, I don't think we need to recreate a mural, but I get the idea. So that could definitely work.
I thought you were going to recreate that on mural.
Well, in 30 seconds, go. Do it. So anyway, I like to kind of close things out with this. Thank you all for taking time out to share your icebreakers. It was fantastic. I learned a lot. Definitely going to be employing some. I'd like to thank my son for being so patient while we're doing our session, and for everyone else for attending. So enjoy the rest of your day. And we'll talk to you later, okay?
Thanks for hosting, Rob.
Take care. Thanks, Robert.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everyone. See ya. All right.